Good evening, welcome back to the channel. Bit of a different one. In the last vlog I said I'd chuck a couple of different vlogs in while we're out and about. The black one, Men Unspoken fleece, then we've got a hoodie. Just thought I'd stick the black one on tonight. Temperatures dropped massively. Farmer doing his bales, and we're obviously out with Lady. But yeah, just thought we'd do a bit of a positive vlog, a good one, or a good one for me anyway. So in the last vlog I said I got some news regarding going back into the fire service and we did a vlog on what you're waiting for, and this sort of is one where I haven't waited about. So back in the day, 96 I think it was, I'd be around about 18ish, and I decided to go in to North Yorkshire Fire and Rescue. Now, long story short version, a family friend, he was in the retained, and he used to run past our house when his pager went off and go out, so he was an on-call firefighter. And he said to me when I got to about 18, he said, "Oh, why don't you join the retained?" And I literally, the process was totally different to what it is now. So basically, you literally went down to the fire station and said, "Can I be a firefighter?" And I kid you not, that was literally what it was. No exams, no fitness tests, no nothing really. The most fitness test you got was a thing that you put your feet on. It had a chain attached to a bar, and you lifted it, and that gave you a bit of a strength test. Then there was a grip thing that you gripped for your grip test. And what else was there? I can't really think of anything else. I had to do a couple of sums, which my maths is horrendous. I had to read a paragraph from this book, and I kid you not, it said your course starts on this date. You can come down to the fire station every Wednesday night, watch the lads drill, then we'll get you, once you've got your payroll number, we'll get you a bit of kit, spare kit, and we'll get you drilling on a Wednesday night, prepare you for your course. Now the course then, back then, was weekends, was Saturday and Sunday, and I think it was for around about 8 weeks, and it was good. Now training school used to be at Ripon, North Yorkshire, Ripon. Training school is now at Easing World, but I still think they use the facilities at Ripon. Not quite sure, but I'm sure there were. Oh, you're there. I'm sure they're still sort of used to a degree. Just making sure she's walking behind me. So yeah, now it's at Easing World. Now, I joined back when we had a Dennis fire engine, and I literally got to the station, bleeper went off, got to the station, and pulled out, doors came up, pulled out, and it was what they call a stop message, and that stop message came in. So we were no longer required to go on to that job, and we backed back in. We still got paid for it, but we didn't actually turn out. So my first turnout wasn't actually a turnout. So that was my first shout. And then obviously shouts came on from that. And the dentist, I don't think it stayed around for many weeks. We've been in starting the retained. We got the full-time pumps, the full-time crew, we got their pump, they got a new pump. So, did the course, had to wear the stupid little squares with the triangle, red and white reflective crap, which states, what it states is you're a non-BA wearer, so you can't wear breathing apparatus basically. You can't wear breathing apparatus, comp up, in a working job until you go do a breathing apparatus course. A few weeks go by, breathing apparatus course comes up, I go do the breathing apparatus course. Now I'm a fully fledged firefighter. Now back in our day, in the late 90s, early 2000s, I was in with a lad that I went to primary school with, and we just, it was a statement really, it was just we're firefighters, and we were absolutely crap. We knew what we were doing, but we just, it was more of a, look at me, I'm a firefighter. And we actually wasn't very good, to be fair. We didn't actually know, we were too young, put it that way. We were too young, we messed about until we got brought in to the office by one of the assistant divisional officers, Trousdale. No, sorry, he was the one after, Trevina, Alan Trevina. Great guy, assistant divisional officer, knew his stuff, so he'd be one that would drive around in a car, he'd get called home, he'd get called out from home, and he would travel on blue lights in his car. And he basically said, look Beachy, look Detheridge, if you don't pull your socks up, you're out. And Simon didn't stay in that long after that. He didn't hang about in the brigade, and I carried on and thought, I really want to do this, and I could do this full time, and blah blah blah. So I sort of knuckled down and started learning the job, learning how to be a good firefighter, and I spent a lot of time on station with the full-time crews. Once I got my confidence and once people trusted me, I then started, sometimes when they were short, riding the full-time machine. And sometimes our bleepers would go off to get us in, to get a crew member to ride with them. But because I was down there, a lot of the time they'd go, Beach, get your kit, stick it on, you can ride until a lad comes from Scarborough, you can ride with us. And I got a few shouts that way as well. And I was a bit of an anorak, alongside who became our sub-officer, Steve Brown. I'm good pals with him. Got a few years under my belt, and then they recruited from the whole time, from the retained for whole time, which killed a lot of the retained manning. Now I apply for leading firefighter, which is now, they're now watch managers and crew managers. They're not sub-officers and leading firefighters. They're watch and crew managers. Come on, babe. So, did my years in the fire service, and unfortunately the person that I was with at the time, who I've got 2 girls to, didn't really like me in the fire service. Not because it was a dangerous job or anything like that, because when I got called out she was left on her own. I've got some horrendous stories of her ringing up the main control room, i.e. 999, to ask how long I would be, because our youngest child, well, our oldest child now, She was the youngest at the time. Our young child needs feeding, and it was quite embarrassing, to be fair. But that's that. Then we moved house, which was out of the catchment area, politics, and a few other bits that cheesed me off. So I sort of came out of the brigade, and we moved too far away anyway. And I got into taxiing, and then I got onto the trucks eventually. So I left. Not because I wanted to, because I was with somebody that I had children with, and it was one of the biggest mistakes of my life. Now fast forward to 5 years ago, and I wish I'd done it 4 or 5 years ago when I met my wife now. I could have been in 4 years now. I could have joined at 44, and I could have 4 years at the station where I live. We've got a return station just on the main A64, and I could have been in. But just all of a sudden it just came to me. Now, I retired a year ago, this time last year, off the trucks. Got some inheritance, decided to put a bit of money into a business that we thought we'd just give it a go. Are you still with me? We just thought, oh, we'd just give it a go. Online selling. And it worked. Now, my dad had a company called Beechcraft Designs. And Beechcraft Designs was a picture framing company. And he did really well out of it. And he had a shop in York City Centre. The rates went up, the rates went up, the rates went up. And he couldn't afford the rates on the side of the shop that he had. Come on. This way. Good girl. So he decided the work that he had he could do from home in his garage. He worked for a guy just doing the mount boards and made a lot of money. So Beechcraft Designs wasn't really a thing anymore. He wasn't promoting as Beechcraft Designs or anything anymore. He was just doing it from home, and he just did it for a friend who had a shop as well. When my wife was looking after my dad, or at the end, his end of life, his care, end of care, she wanted to rejig it, but not as Beechcraft Supply, as Beechcraft Designs, Beechcraft Supplies. And we bought a load of craft stuff, £250 worth of stuff. I think I've mentioned this on a vlog before. £250 worth of craft. Went within about 4 days. Made a little bit of profit. Thought, oh, this is good. Profit. Bought some more stock. And then it's just gone from there. And we've been running that now for about 2 years. Because we started running it while we were still working. So my wife was a fabricator, hairdresser, come cleaner, come, you know, everything. Multi-talented. So she wanted to finish fabricating. I was finishing on the trucks, and she decided to open up Beechcraft Supplies. And then also decided that she wanted to open up Beach and Beyond, which is our cleaning firm. So Beach and Beyond, the cleaning firm, is a cleaning firm which is sort of one-off clean. So end of tenancy, if people struggle, how do you say it without being rude, but people that can't really do things for themselves, whether they've got a physical or a mental problem or anything like that, but they can't really clean for themselves. So she'll go in, maybe once a month, give it a complete deep clean. She does the ovens, deep oven cleans, one-off cleans, one-off office cleans, and stuff like that. But the online craft is more or less a 24-hour job. Now, a few weeks ago, I decided I'm going to rejoin the Retained. We have a station that is within 4 minutes of our house, and I fill the application form out. I click submit. I went off and did something. Can't remember what I actually went off and did. And the missus shouts, your phone's ringing. It's this officer. Won't say his name online because it's not fair. He might not want to be on there, on here. So we'll say the officer rang. And I said, well, he said his name. He said it's from North Yorkshire Fire and Rescue. I said, well, so I've only just submitted the application form. Now, normally when you submit an application form, you can wait 2 days, 3 days, a week, whatever. 10 minutes. Oh, I thought I'd jump on this straight away. You've applied. I'll jump on it. Can you come for the first stage interview tomorrow at 5 o'clock? I went, yeah, of course I can. So I went up to the station. Application accepted. Phone call passed because I've accepted a phone call conversation. First interview, general chat. What I want from the fire service, why I want to join the fire service or rejoin the fire service, and past that. So 2 days ago, email, I'd like to invite you to a secondary interview, which is on the 13th of August at 11:30, and I've just got to do a step test, chest to step test, get to 80% of your lungs, and that's about it, I think. Once that's passed, we go on to the next stage, and I have to go up to Easy Mode, and you go on a treadmill now, where you used to do the bleep test. Now, I've done the bleep test 2 or 3 times in my life, and I was never ever fit enough. Even at my fittest, I was never ever fit enough, because I've always been a bulky lad. I've always gone to the gym and lifted weights. I've only done cardio to lose weight, not to gain fitness, and weights to get stronger, which I'm struggling with a shoulder injury at the moment. I've got a trapped nerve, and if any of you have had a trapped nerve before in your shoulder and your tricep, I've had it for about 4 days, 3 or 4 days, and by God, I've bought freeze spray, deep heat. I'm going through painkillers like you wouldn't believe. It is absolutely killing me, and I can't get comfy at all. So I keep coming out for a little walk just to sort of try and maybe even free it off walking. Right at this time, it's niggling me, but not to the point where I want to cry, because I can sit on the sofa and I'm just fed up, absolutely fed up. So that's where we're at, and this was sort of a video, just an insight of what else I do other than Men Unspoken. I do a few parcels in a van, which is the easiest thing to do and the fastest way I make money. For the sake of 2 to maybe 3.5 hours at a push a day, and take home a good wage, enough just to do a few parcels, 100 parcels, 130 parcels, some days 130, some days 80, and bring home a decent wage for it that sort of tops up what we earn online and what we earn with the cleaning company is good. And then obviously the return wage will come in. Now, it's not a massive busy station, despite being on the A64, but we have a lot of the moor fires, RTCs as they're called now, standbys for Scarborough, standbys for Malton, and other bits and bats. So I think it's roughly, as a bog standard on-call, is about £9,000 a year. So it's not a massive deal, and on top of that you get your call-out fees and stuff like that, your drill night fees and so on. So yeah, other than Men Unspoken, and I love doing my videos, and we'll do some videos on the actual fire service, just to show you the insight of that and what I do being on call when I get to that stage after training and doing my safe to ride. We'll do a few videos, but it was just sort of to give out a bit of positivity. You go for something and you put 100% into it, you come out the other end. Now I'm 48, and that's a late age to sort of try and get fit again and rejoin the service. But I think, do you know what, if I can get back into the return, I can do anything. Training at the moment is going really, really well. My cardio is absolutely fantastic at the moment. I'm loving cardio. We have 2 treadmills in the garage, a Smith's machine, loads of weights. So I'm really enjoying that. But sort of a thing to you lads, you know, if you are feeling a little bit shit and a bit down, put your mind to it. You can literally do anything you want. I've just thought, do you know what, I'm not going to wait around anymore. I'm going to stick an application form in and I'm just going to go for it. And it's paying off at the moment. So don't think that you can't do anything when you can. At what age you are, you've just got to go for it. And that's what I've done. I've gone for it. So yeah, we'll keep you updated. Interview on the 13th. We'll see how that goes. But I've also got an operation on my eye on the 10th. We'll see how that goes as well. So yeah, just a little one. Anyway, coffee time. Been for our walk. Thanks for watching. We'll see you on the next one. Peace out.